about the wildlife of North America and the habitats they live in. North America is found in the New World, just like South America. It's mostly made of 3 continents. In the north, there's Canada. In the south, there's Mexico. And smack dab in the middle, the United States of America, where we are right now. However, there are also several islands in the Caribbean that also make up part of North America, like Cuba and Jamaica and Hispaniola and the Bahamas. And even Greenland is part of North America, which is found in the Arctic Ocean. There are lots of habitats in North America, from deserts to grasslands to forests to swamps to tundras to mountains, all those kinds. And North America is home to the tallest trees on Earth, the redwood trees found in California. And they don't call them redwood for nothing. The redwood forest is a type of coniferous forest. A coniferous forest is a forest with lots of trees that are almost kind of like those trees you set up for Christmas. And the coniferous forest is home to the second largest bear on Earth, the brown bear, also known as the grizzly bear. Brown bears, they've been to many different regions around the world, and because of that, they divided into 3 subspecies: the Eurasian brown bear, the grizzly bear, and the largest of them all, the Kodiak bear. And the Kodiak bear is probably even slightly larger than the polar bear. And the brown bear clearly has a bigger, more rounded head shape, even bigger than that of the polar bear. Just because polar bears are the largest of all bear species doesn't mean they have the biggest skull. Also, the ears aren't as erect as that of the American black bear. And they can't climb as well as American black bears can. They also have a conspicuous hump on their back, which makes their shoulders stronger. They also have longer, more powerful claws. And grizzly bears, as usual for most bears, grizzly bears are omnivores, which means they eat both plants and other animals, but usually vegetation, so like fruits and nuts and many kinds of grasses. But they also eat many kinds of animals, especially salmon. And they usually eat salmon whenever they're coming to freshwater to breed, which is usually during the summer. North America is also home to a desert called the Sonoran Desert. The Sonoran Desert is found in southwestern America and northwestern Mexico. A desert is a habitat that's really hot and dry. So dry that there's basically no water, not even during spring. No rainfall at all, not a single drop. Believe it or not, however, there's still plenty of life around there, thanks to a giant plant called the saguaro cactus. Saguaro cacti can grow up to be 50 feet high. That's way taller than a house, and that's just what animals use them for. For instance, one of those animals would probably be the Gila woodpecker. Most woodpeckers peck holes in trees, but since there are barely trees in the Sonoran Desert, the Gila woodpecker instead pecks knot holes in saguaro cacti, thanks to how tall they are. And in the spring, when birds are breeding, that joint is jumping with lots of birds ready to breed, which means Gila woodpeckers are kept plenty busy making nice fresh holes to live in. As usual for all woodpeckers, a woodpecker can beat and peck into wood like at least 25 beats per second. They also have a tongue that's extremely long that it stays wrapped around the skull when their beaks are closed. But when they open their beaks, their tongue uncoils off the skull and shoots out. It helps them catch their insects that they feed on. Woodpeckers, they do peck holes to catch insects, but they also peck holes to make knot holes for them to live in. But they don't always stay in those holes. Sometimes they peck the holes and live in them, but when they're done, they move out and peck another one. And when they do, other animals can move in. And that's why woodpeckers are having to peck so many holes, especially in the Sonoran Desert. You see, inside the saguaro cacti, it's nice and cool for lots of other animals. So off the woodpecker goes to go peck some more, until the saguaros begin to look like Swiss cheese. Also, when woodpeckers find their prey, what they do is that first they tap the tree or cactus to sense the motion of an insect, and they listen very carefully for the insects as they're chewing on the bark or the inside of a cactus. And if they believe they've found it, they start pecking more rapidly, 25 beats per second, to make a hole. Once the hole is done, they shoot their tongue out and catch the insect, like a termite or a beetle. Woodpeckers can actually become very useful for the forest. Sometimes insects can be pretty hostile against forests. That's why woodpeckers are important. And that's why we need to conserve the woodpecker populations.